Joining me now is former Pinal County, Arizona County Sheriff Paul Babeu. Good to see you, Paul. Thank you for being here.
Good to see you, David.
As awful as the death was, it gets even worse. It looks like he was stoned to death, literally stoned to death, Agent Martinez was. And it was just recently that agents were getting an earful about using, quote, unreasonable force against these illegal immigrants, stoning them. Well, it now seems that this guy was actually stoned to death. I'm wondering if all this shouting about unreasonable force led to the death of Agent Martinez.
Well, law enforcement around the country have been put under a microscope, and people ascribe superhero traits to those of us who have worn the uniform. And we see in this case here that, yes, in fact, not only Agent Martinez, he was brutally, gruesomely beaten to death with rocks in the head. And another agent who was responding in the area was also badly injured, brutally beaten, was taken to the hospital. This is outrageous, and we've seen under Kurlikowski, who used to be the leader under Obama, he would go after these Border Patrol agents and prosecuting them and putting this all on the agents, like don't respond to these rock throwers.
Well, and Sheriff, we have seen this all around the country, the restraint that police now exhibit that could, in fact, cost them their lives. And I'm wondering if that restraint was a part of the reason that Agent Martinez was killed.
It very well can be and could be, and the investigation will have to bear that out. But I could tell you that cops all across the country have paused before taking action, because I could tell you that not only because it's a litigious society, but the fact that law enforcement is going to be branded and we shouldn't have used this amount of force, and a rock, as in this case, can kill somebody very easily. It can
be a deadly force. There's no question about it. Now,
terrible.
We mentioned the number of deaths. Since President Trump took office, there's been a dramatic increase in the assaults against these Border Patrol agents, a 67% increase since the president was elected. Is this the consequence of tightening the border?
It is, and I could tell you that not only you mentioned the 67% rapid increase, this is off the charts, but at the same time we've had a terrific, almost an 80% decrease in illegal entries crossing the border. So how can these numbers be so inverse? And it's because they're far more desperate. And a lot of the criminal elements who continue to come across this unsecured border, because we do not have a wall. Most of the border is unsecured, does not have the barriers. We do not have the manpower to fight back and secure that border. So this is ever more dangerous, as evidenced in this brutal murder of this hero, Agent Martinez. And our hearts go out to not only him, to his family, and to the other agent who is unknown at this time. And may he recover.
Very, very quickly, Sheriff, they're giving me a rep, but I have to ask, the president says now more than ever we need a wall. This death is a sign of that. Are the agents on the ground, you worked with these guys, very closely with these guys, do they believe that a wall could prevent these assaults and even deaths?
Yes, many of them. And this is where they can visually see these agents and attack them in multiples, and then they just run back across the border. We got to secure this border. This Congress needs to support President Trump. He was elected largely because of this issue. They need to do their job and fund the border construction immediately.
Former Sheriff Paul Babeu, great to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it.